out. Watch out. Good boys, girls. Snap chickens. Yeah, that's pretty fun. Yeah, they're definitely starting to molt. Here, I'm gonna stop right here. There's a bee that needs to drink some water. And that little baby bunny that lives underneath the berries or underneath all the metal come too.
You just scared them all away.
They'll come back.
All right, so it is Saturday, May 1st. Doing normal chores so far this morning. Have a few projects that we need to take care of, and then working on fencing again this afternoon. Or midday, hopefully.
Hopefully morning.
Hopefully morning. I do need to fertilize the roses. Supposed to do that once a month, and I think I forgot last month. So
yes, we did.
Need to get that done today.
Yeah, they need some food.
Dwayne wants to spray the blackberries here.
Gotta spray the berry beds.
Oh, you're spraying down the wood chips?
Yeah.
I thought you meant the actual bush when you said that.
No.
I was like, why do you want to spray the berry bush?
We don't need to spray the bushes. One of the things that we are seeing with these berries that especially this one here, the triple crown blackberry, that's the one that we took as a pup from the old farm, is it's fruiting at a very young age and it's growing very aggressively. Again, back to what we're seeing is anything that we brought from the old farm that we propagated ourselves, that's basically climatized to Arizona, is doing really well. You can see we've got some berries here about to be ripe. So you can see that's just beautiful. But speaking of beautiful, hey sweetheart, what are you doing over here? Are you
well, I saw a berry in here and I was looking to see if there's any other ones.
It's mulberry season.
Yeah.
You get the Shangri-La. All right, so you saw that, and then I've got to show you guys. So we've got this guy here. That's one that we got as basically a stick in the fall. We ordered that online. And it's doing really well also, which is great to see. We're going to work at propagating that this year. Hopefully we can get a few of those propagations to take. It's a lot tougher than the triple crown, but this one's got berries on it as well. We've been doing a harvest on the everbearing for 2 weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
I got some more.
What do you have, sweetie?
I got some more.
Oh, yes, you
Shangri-La.
do. Shangri-La mulberry in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
We are getting towards the end of our primary season, and we get distracted a lot because we know the end is near. But we do need to get the roses fertilized. We skipped that last month, and we don't want to skip it this month. And we need to get our beds done. We are like at the last quarter of the beds for the garden beds in the vineyard garden. You can see down here we keep our feed. That's a very good sign for the end of the season. That would be feed for the broilers, and that is feed for the pigs. That is almost gone, which means we are almost done, which makes us very happy. And now we need to go over here, and I think that's all seeds. The fertilizer's in, I think it's in this other big one. Usually we're really good about organizing all of our stuff and labeling it, and actually,
Still have not labeled any of it.
Lori, I really want to know, why are none of these bins labeled?
I need to get labels and do it. I just get to go through every one until I find what I'm looking for.
So Lori is very good on labeling and organizing everything, and she hasn't labeled any of these bins.
I have not.
There's your fertilizer.
There it is.
All right, you found it. You knew it was in there somewhere. Make sure you grab the little cup because we need to make sure we're dishing this out correctly.
This one here, it's pushing up out of the ground.
Okay, well that's probably a good sign.
Oh, it's not very big.
Yeah, but it looks good. Why don't we pull two?
Okay.
Well, that's a good size one right there.
Yeah.
Very good. We need to get the rest of the chores done because we need to get to work on these garden beds today. We also have our neighbors. We're continuing slowly doing the fencing that is bordering our properties, and also includes the livestock acre that we need to get fenced in so we can work on that this summer into fall. But before we do that, what I want to do, since we're here with the chickens, you can see the pasture's definitely slowing down quite a bit. But what I wanted to show you guys is one of these chickens. This is their last week on the farm. We actually process next Friday. Today's Saturday. One of the things that we're finally starting to kind of nail down is the feed. So the right kind of feed and timing. I think we have it planned for processing on Friday. We definitely could have processed today because of the size of these birds. So we're moving them a little bit too far out because these chickens, you'll see in a second, get just too big for themselves and you really need to process. So we should be processing today probably. So I think we'll back that off and process at 7.5 weeks as opposed to 8.5 weeks once we get into next season, because we're at the end of our season. But I want to show you one of these chickens. All right. So this is one of the bigger ones. You can see I'm not gonna hold him up too long, but he's heavy. I'm guessing this is probably, oh goodness, somewhere in the 8-pound range, maybe heavier here as far as live weight. I'm gonna set him down. But you can see he still moves around pretty good, but pretty soon they'll really start to struggle. Wants to go over and see his pals. And they don't go very far away from feed. And you can see he definitely just wants to get back in with everybody else, so I don't want to stress him out too much. But you see definitely getting beefy, and we got one of our layers wants to know what's going on. Let's go ahead and get him back inside. I know. There you go, partner. There you go. So that one was moving around pretty good. We get a couple that really start to struggle. They get so heavy, their legs can't really support them all that well. And we're starting to see that in here. So definitely need to get to processing these chickens soon. But that aside, we need to finish up our chicken chores and start working on those garden beds. we've been harvesting off of these berries. You guys know these are ever-bearing mulberries back there. And we just harvested last night. I think I already have a ripe berry in here. Yeah, just amazing to see how quickly those ripen. Got a couple more down here. We've been pretty much harvesting off these 3 trees for the last 2 weeks, just about every night. And we now have, ooh, there's another one. But we now have just over 12 pounds of these mulberries in the freezer. And if you guys know us, you guys probably have a good idea what we're gonna be doing with all of that frozen fruit. Let's just say it will ferment for a while and turn into a rather tasty adult beverage. We're trying to avoid the inevitable this morning, which is working on those garden beds, aren't we? I know I am. I really don't want to do this.
Well, I think it's just because there's so many other like small projects that we want to do, and we keep putting those off because we want to finish those. Yeah.
It's that whole you gotta finish what you started kind of thing.
I know.
You know?
I know.
All right, we're talking because we realize how drastically different our lives are for most people, because I'm sitting here holding meat chickens that have got poop on them. We're digging in manure, and then I walk over and I grab a mulberry or two and just throw them in my mouth. and don't even think twice about it. I'm like, yep, this is normal. For most people, that's not normal.
No,
but
that's pretty gross.
Yeah. Okay. Now it's awkward. Okay, we're gonna go. We need to go get some of this work done. We just kind of bared down. We got the ABC in all of the bricks around the borders there. That's gonna help to keep the creepy crawlers from getting up inside the netting. We were learning pretty quick on the other side that was happening. So that's done. We don't have the end caps of the hardware cloth or the netting up yet, but that's okay. We're just starting to see some cowpeas push out in this first bed right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some planted in these other 2 beds. Now, one of the things that I failed to do last week in a rush was actually give these some fertilizer. So I'm gonna be using some fish emulsion. Pretty sure we got this guy online. Not sure if it's still available or not, but it's working out just fine. It's a nice, just simple organic fertilizer. So we're gonna be using this along with mixing it with some water, and then of course our cowpeas, which I think I'm gonna plant a little bit heavier in these 2 beds. I'd really like to get these things hopefully growing strong here for the summer to actually get some soil built. So another kind of test to see how well we can build soil without a lot of additional inputs with the cowpeas, which of course will fix nitrogen, which this bed is gonna need if we expect to have stuff growing here regularly in the spring. Because all of these beds here on this side, on the western side of the property, are the spring beds. And that's specifically because we have our grapevines along that back there. And what'll happen is on the back side of these beds, those grapevines will actually give some shade, especially in the evenings, to the back of these beds, which may help out a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get some of the wood chips pulled back and get these cowpeas planted. Hopefully Lori will have breakfast ready for me here, because this time of year we don't get breakfast until we've already been outside working for a few hours. So it might be kind of hard to pick up on camera, but basically what I'm doing is I'm making little furrows in the dirt that's real shallow. We're gonna have a nice thick layer of wood chip mulch, and we found that as long as we give it some nitrogen, they still will grow up through that, no issues. And I think what I'm gonna do is also just kind of spread some down into the wood chips kind of throughout, just to see whether we can get those to take as well. Either way, I need to finish up this bed, get this planted, and move on to the next one. So there we go, one bed down. Lori's got breakfast ready for me, but you'll see watered it in nice and heavy. Now we'll see how strong those are as far as pushing up through those wood chips. I prefer wood chips over straw just so that I don't get the straw seeds in here. Not that it would be that big a deal, but I'd rather not get those in here. And I'd rather stick with something that we have plentifully, which is of course the wood chips. Now we will water this twice a day until we start seeing sprouts and we know we've got some good root formation. And then of course with the wood chips, we'll definitely be able to go to once a day, maybe once every other day. We'll kind of see how these beds do. All right, I need to eat some breakfast. I'm sure our neighbors will hopefully be here soon to get some fencing done because it's getting warm quick. Okay, so we decided to do something a little bit different with this bed, and what we did is we took some of the manure, most of that's raw, so a little bit aged, most of it's raw. So we took some of the chicken manure that we have piling up from the laying hens, and basically we put the cow peas in here like we did with the other beds. And the difference with this is we shook some of a light kind of coating of the chicken manure on top of the wood chips, raked it in, and then watered this in really, really heavy. So basically we're testing a few things. You guys know us with tests. And we need to determine how much we can get away with not bringing inputs onto the farm, or at least not bringing fertilizing inputs onto the farm, and actually creating that fertilization here on the farm. And we'll talk more about that another day. But we've got the first bed that has basically no amendments whatsoever. It has the cowpeas in the soil that have just had wood chips on them for the winter. We have this next bed you saw us planting today that has the fish emulsion in there, so light layer or light watering of fish emulsion in with the cowpeas. And then with this one, we have the wood chips along with the raw chicken manure that we produced here on the farm, or at least our chickens produced here on the farm. One other thing, we did get some fencing done today. Nate wasn't feeling good. Nate, hope you're feeling better, man. But we got several holes dug for the fencing that's going to go around the livestock acre, because that borders our properties. So we obviously are moving along on that because we have to get that in here before the fall hits, because we want more livestock. And speaking of which, we have livestock here on the farm for another week, and then our livestock season is basically done. So one of the things about here in Arizona, our livestock seasons are flip-flopped. We do fall through spring where everybody else is just firing up. So, you know, Lori and I are really exhausted. We've got one more week with the pigs here and with the broiler chickens, and then next weekend, they are all gone. So we're really looking forward to that. But one of the things I know for sure, especially after getting the manure on this bed and seeing how some of the other things are doing, is come fall, we need a lot more livestock on this farm. So you guys know we've got our live stream today, which if you're watching this, tomorrow was last night. So hopefully we got a chance to talk to you last night. We do that every month. We may be doing that more often, so want to get your input on that, but hopefully you guys joined us for that. If you guys have any questions or comments, you know, leave those in the comment section down below. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe to the channel and share this. If you've got anybody else that, you know, is into growing food and food security and farming and homesteading, you know, that's all the things that we cover here. I think they'd really get a kick out of it. So as you know, we always say, if we can farm on the edge of nowhere, so can you. Yeah, tell everybody what day it is. It's a good start.
Great.
Don't be jelly.
Don't be jelly.
Yeah, I said don't be jelly. Better than don't be peanut butter. You don't want to heavy hand it like you do your shots of vodka. You know, where you don't use a shot glass, you just pour until you think it's enough. I figure if I'm going to be shoveling ABC, I'd rather be staring at your beautiful face than some dude. You know me, it kind of always comes back to you. And well, your body.
You're not staring at me, you're staring at dirt.
I'm staring at you. I walk over, I look at your legs, and then I put some dirt in the hole.
You want me to showcase my dry legs?
I don't have a problem with you showcasing your legs.
Look how dry they are. I didn't put lotion on.
So what you're saying is you want me to focus my attention on your body? Okay, well you don't have to try to encourage me. I'll do that on my own just fine, thanks. Awkward. Yeah, I agree. Oh, the conversations we had before anybody else is even awake in the morning.
Playing in poop, huh?
I got the poo on me. Oh my goodness.